Step into the realm of the paranormal on Til The Last Drop, a show that blends paranormal stories and events with a themed drink.
This episode is going to be a little bit themed after, I guess, the current time frame. And no, I'm not talking about some disease-ridden, like, bubonic plague rats and all that. This is actually more about leprechauns and the mythical green fairies of a different origin than we had before. These are just associated with green. I suppose green and gold. That would be the, I don't know, the team colors of a leprechaun. I don't know.
I mean, they're typically shown wearing green, but the early versions had them clad in red.
Oh, yeah. I haven't seen anything of that yet, but I'm sure you read a little bit further into it than I did currently.
Yeah.
However, just a quick little overview here is like leprechauns are figures in Irish folklore who guard hidden treasure, regarded as small and incredibly agile male fairies or goblins. They most often guard pots of gold, or a pot of gold, I suppose. Depends on how well off that leprechaun has been.
I've heard other tales where they have a hoard of gold.
Ah, yes, those leprechaun dragons.
Kind of. I mean, they have, I think it's typically in like the Fey realm or something. Like they hold it in a different pocket dimension, I believe is how it works out.
A pocket. They just put it in their pockets.
But they're notorious for hoarding massive amounts of gold and treasure, like a dragon.
Let's see, there's also living solitary lives. A leprechaun can be a source of mischief for unwary, and they are infamous for being extremely difficult to catch or trap. Even if they are caught, the captor must keep them always within sight, or they will not give away their location of their treasure. Leprechauns share many characteristics with more ancient creatures from Irish, Celtic, and wider European mythology, but since the 19th century, they have risen to the dominant position of being the most recognizable symbol of Irish folklore.
I think much to the dismay of Ireland.
Yeah, I think so. Well, even if we think about like St. Patrick's Day, the idea that it's time to go out and drink and color your beer green and just go bar hopping and all that. I'm pretty sure that's a little bit
offensive.
Just a little. That whole thing with like corned beef and cabbage. I'm sure it's like, it's an Irish meal or whatever. I'm pretty sure it's a very like uncommon, like Sunday dinner style of meal that's prepared like maybe very rarely. It's not something that like is here you go. Every night, have your corned beef and cabbage. And I'm like, no.
God, that'd be horrible.
I mean, it's pretty good, but all those nitrates would probably kill you.
It would be good on occasion. Like, it is good on occasion, sorry, but I could not eat that every night.
Yeah.
Oh, you'd be so bloated.
Yeah. Yes. You'd be, yes.
Uh-huh.
The dead will rise, so they can hear more content from Til The Last Drop.
So you mentioned that leprechauns are tricksters and people often try to get their gold. And in the encyclopedia Spirits, Fairies, Leprechauns, and Goblins, folklorist Carol Rose offers a typical tale of leprechaun trickery. And it is where a man who managed to get a leprechaun to show him the bush in the field where his treasure was located. He has no spade, and so he marks the tree with one of his red garters so that he can come back and find it. He then releases the sprite and goes for a spade. When he returns almost instantly, he found that every one of the numerous trees in the field sported a red garter.
Well, I think the bigger question is, obviously this isn't anytime modern because I don't know anybody who'd be wearing a garter. So.
Yeah.
I guess there's also in the magical world, most spirits, fairies, and other creatures have a distinctive sound that is associated with them. Some entities, such as the Irish fairy Banshee and the Hispanic spirit La Llorona, are said to emit a mournful wail signifying their presence. In the case of a leprechaun, it's the tap-tap-tapping of his tiny cobbler hammer, driving nails into shoes that announces they are nearby.
Yeah, because the leprechaun is the fairy shoemaker.
Yes, the cobbler, if you will.
Yes, actually, there is a bit of a poem that describes the sound, and it is, lay your ear close to the hill. Do you not catch the tiny clamor? Busy click of an elfin hammer, voice of the leprechaun singing shrill as he merrily plies his trade.
Yep.
And that's describing the sound of the leprechaun.
Yeah. It could come from one of the ideas of the word that some researchers believe that the word leprechaun may have been derived from the Irish Leith Bragan? Leith Bragan? I don't know. Leith Bragan? That could be it. Leith Bragan.
I'm sure you've probably
The pronunciation isn't easy. I'm not in any way familiar with the Gaelic tongue. However, it means shoemaker, which would make sense if that's the case, if there are little cobblers running around fixing shoes and demanding gold.
Mm-hmm.
So, or other such things, I suppose.
Well,
Anything of
if I
value.
was fixing shoes, I would be demanding gold also.
Yeah. I mean, why not? You got to have some sort of payment.
Exactly. You need to be paid fairly for your work.
Yes. Of course, leprechauns have found their way into popular culture. As with many old legends and traditions, the image and nature of the leprechaun has changed over time and has been updated for a modern audience. Lucky the Leprechaun, mascot of General Mills breakfast cereal, Lucky Charms.
Probably one of the most well-known leprechauns.
Yep. There's also apparently a 1959 Disney movie, Darby O'Gill and the Little People.
Yes.
Also influenced how many people think of the wee folk. Now, there's probably a few things in there that may not be looked at the same way socially anymore, but...
From 1959,
well, I mean, even the
genuinely
name,
doubt it.
yeah, even the name Darby O'Gill, I'm pretty sure that's a very stereotypical Irish name. Now we're not going to get into the idea of like Sean McLaughlin. Now that's some people may know what I'm talking about, but anyway.
He's a jack of all trades.
Yes. Anyway, on the other end of the spectrum, there's a homicidal leprechaun, Lubden the Leprechaun. I don't know. That's what they say. Lubden the Leprechaun, horror/comedy film series played by Willow actor Warwick Davis.
Warwick Davis is awesome, though.
Yeah. Well, he's been in a lot of different things.
Yes.
I believe he was an Ewok. He was the most notably the Leprechaun. He was one of the Goblin bank tellers in the Harry Potter series. Wasn't he?
No. He was a teacher.
He was a teacher?
Yes, he was one of the professors.
Oh, it's been forever since I've actually seen any of that. I
Have
didn't
you
know he was
seen
one
any
of
of the Harry Potter movies?
I've seen 3 of them.
Really?
The first 3, I think.
Oh.
That's
yes.
why I thought he was one of the bank guys.
No.
Oh.
But I guess I can understand why you might think that.
Yeah. I kind of lost interest in most of the other ones.
I've read all the books, so.
Well, he doesn't appear in the book.
I mean, his character does, but
Yeah.
he himself personally is not in the book. No. It is not Harry Potter and Warwick Davis
No.
defeat he who shall not be named.
Yes, he will not be named. Anyway, for generations, some Irish have been annoyed by leprechauns and the ethnic stereotypes they perpetuate. And for most, American leprechauns only appear around St. Patrick's Day. Well, first of all, a leprechaun only appears on St. Patrick's Day. I'd like to see one. I don't know where they're seeing them. But, the idea of them.
Did you check the end of the rainbow?
No.
Because
it's usually in the middle of a field somewhere, and I
I
can't
think that's
drive there.
what your problem is then.
Oh, of course.
You're not looking in the right places. I mean, isn't that where their gold's supposed to be?
Yeah.
Did you never do that when you were a child?
I never looked for a leprechaun.
No, did you not?
It's not one of my pastimes, I'm sorry.
I'm not weird.
Ty, we're going out leprechaun hunting.
I was not leprechauning.
Leprechauning?
I was trying to find the gold. Because who doesn't want gold?
If you find the gold, you're going to find the leprechaun.
Maybe.
No, I don't think that he would just leave his gold.
I didn't do it every time I saw a rainbow, but there was a few
I'm picturing
times.
like Twister, like
Yes.
the premise of Twister, and every time that there's a leprechaun or a rainbow or like in this case a storm, I suppose, they just freak out and try to get them before the evil ones do.
It was very much like you just described.
Oh.
I don't know how you know that. Were you stalking me when I was a child?
No.
Oh wait, you weren't even born when that was happening.
I was the leprechaun.
What?
I don't know. It was me all along.
All right.
Yeah.
This has gone to a weird place.
Anyway.
No, though again, it wasn't every time, but there was always that story that if you found the end of the rainbow, you would find the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. And so on a couple occasions, I saw a rainbow that looked like it had a reachable end. And so I went looking for it. And logically, I knew that there was not going to be some pot of gold sitting at the end of it. But it was still fun to pretend, I guess.
Yeah.
And to have that magical moment in your childhood.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of that may have been perpetuated by Lucky Charms.
I am going to tell you one thing,
Hearts,
though.
stars, and horseshoes. Clovers and balloons.
So,
Pots of golden rainbows.
go on.
Nope, I'm done. I'm not.
I do very distinctly remember, though, having the thought while I was looking for it was, what if I find the end and it's the wrong end? Because there's two ends to a rainbow. And
Yeah.
nobody said which one
Yep.
was supposed to have the pot of gold. And so I figured my luck, I would find it and it would be the wrong end.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I mean, it could be. You never know. You got a 50-50 chance for the most part. Unless there's like some leprechaun magic that happens.
I feel like that just shows how like pessimistic and realistic and sad I was as a child, because I'm going to go on a magic journey to find a pot of gold. And then I realized, I'm probably going to get there and it's not even going to be the right side, because that's my luck.
And you got to go to the other one, which ends in the middle of a field, or it's in the middle of the ocean or something, just because. Why not? Mm-hmm. There's like a little leprechaun sitting in the middle of the ocean, like wearing scuba set and just like sitting on top of this pot of gold. Or actually, it would be a treasure chest in this case, and he'd probably be part pirate.
I was going to say, so now we've gone pirate.
Yeah.
Cool.
I mean, why not? Pirates had gold. Leprechauns have gold. Why not some leprechaun pirates? Sounds like a good movie to me.
Pirate leprechauns?
Oh, yeah.
So Warwick Davis and Depp?
Sure.
Huh.
I mean, it seems like Hollywood's on a trend of destroying movies, so why not? Let's.
I would watch that. I mean,
Could be good.
maybe not in theaters. Maybe in theaters. but-
Pirates of the Caribbean and the Quest for the Lucky Charms or something.
Yes.
Or, oh, no, they already did something along the lines of Dead Men's Chest and all that, so they can't use that kind of title. Oh, well. Stay thirsty for the unusual with Till the Last Drop. Of course, leprechauns aren't the only thing that can be associated with St. Patrick's Day or any bit of this Irish theming that we've got going on. There's also the little bit of the Blarney Stone as well. Mm-hmm. So do you want to go into a little bit of detail on that, or you want me to start off?
Go ahead.
All right. Well, the Blarney Stone, it's a block of Carboniferous limestone. It's built into the battlements of Blarney Castle in Blarney, about 8 kilometers from Cork, Ireland. According to legend, kissing the stone endows the user with the gift of the gab, or gift of the gob. I don't know.
Gab.
Gob. Great eloquence or skill at flattery.
Oh, so you just become charming.
The gift of the gob. There you go. The stone
That
was
bad.
It was.
Yes.
I'm not claiming to be Irish. I'm just going to.
No, you're Hungarian.
Yeah, yeah. I should learn that one day. Anyway, the stone is set in a tower of the castle in 1446. The castle is a popular tourist site in Ireland, attracting visitors from all over the world to kiss the stone and
gross.
tour the castle and its gardens.
I'm sorry.
Kiss this rock.
No, like thousands of people coming to kiss it. Like,
Well, this is pre-pandemic.
I don't care.
There's actually images of it. You can see a little bit of the wear that's been on that rock from probably all the people licking off the limestone.
Ew. So not only are they kissing it, they're like Frenching it?
I can't guarantee that, but I can know that people have been kissing it. There's also the word blarney has come to mean clever, flattering, or coaxing talk. Irish politician John O'Connor Power defined it this way. Blarney is something more than just mere flattery. It is flattery sweetened by humor and flavored by wit. Those who mix with Irish folk have many examples of it in their everyday experience.
Wait, so Blarney is flattery sweetened by humor and flavored with wit?
Yes.
So it's me. Sorry. It's not me.
Anywho.
It's not me.
I remember long ago, and I probably don't have it anymore.
You were around long ago?
Yes, long ago in the days of yore, or some kind of phrase like that.
You mean last century?
Yeah, I guess the end of the 1900s or so.
Oh, back in the 1900s?
Yes, back in that day, because you never know when somebody's going to listen to this. I can't put it down to a specific year. I'm sorry, but.
You're fired.
I remember at one point, I run this thing, you know.
Not without me.
Anyway, I remember having a souvenir or something from a Blarney Stone. And it was like a piece of a rock in a bag. And I'm pretty sure that it had like a whole description of like the Blarney Stone in it. So there's that. I had a rock in a bag.
Do you still have this bag of rock?
I don't know. I haven't seen it in a long time unless it's packed somewhere. That is.
Ask your mom. I'm sure she still has it.
Maybe. I mean, it is a lucky rock.
Did your dad get it from Ireland?
I don't know. I don't think he went to Ireland at that point.
Oh.
So,
It's
really,
a faux Blarney Stone?
It might be. It might just be this rock that was in a bag and had a little piece of paper that said, oh, this is about the Blarney Stone. Here's a piece of it.
But the other thing
lucky.
is, it's not like somebody went in there and chipped off chunks of the Blarney Stone.
No. I'm pretty sure you're not allowed to do that.
No.
So, and here's a little bit about like the ritual.
There's a ritual.
Ah, yes, the ritual of kissing the Blarney Stone.
Oh God! Why is that person upside down?
It's the part of the ritual.
What?
The ritual of kissing the Blarney Stone, according to the castle's proprietors, has been performed by millions of people, including world statesmen, literary giants, and legends of the silver screen.
Ooh.
The kiss, however, is not casually achieved. To touch the stones with one's lips, the participant must ascend to the castle's peak, then lean over backwards on the parapet's edge. This is traditionally achieved with the help of an assistant.
Yeah, I would be tickled if somebody touched me like that. I would crack my head on the Blarney Stone, bleed all over, and it would be bad. But go ahead.
Yeah, although the parapet is now fitted with wrought iron guide rails and protective crossbars, the ritual can still trigger attacks of acrophobia.
Which one is that?
The fear of... It's an extreme or irrational fear or phobia of heights.
Right. Okay. So, yeah, not for me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you are on top of a castle. and you are hanging over the edge of it.
Why?
Well, why not? It's for luck.
I don't need that kind of luck.
Oh, that's the good luck.
No, you need to realize that you don't have the luck until after you've successfully done this. Don't you need the luck to successfully do this?
Well, the luck would only be able to tell people how well you were able to do it.
But...
Because it's the gift of the gab.
I can already talk. I'm good, man. No.
Here's a nice little bit of information as well. Before the safeguards were installed, the kiss was performed with real risk to life and limb.
We're all soft now. We're not kissing walls and stones with any risk.
And the participants were grasped by the ankles and dangled bodily from the height. Yep. Let's see. In the Sherlock Holmes radio dramatization, The Adventures of the Blarney Stone, a man attempted to kiss the Blarney Stone. Oh, and falls to his death. Holmes' investigation reveals that this is a murder, and the man's boots have been
I can't.
Yeah, whatever. They were greased before the attempt.
I'm not trying anymore.
Yeah, it's not a common word that ever anybody needs to use.
Stereotypically.
Yes.
Sure, it's gonna bother me. So his boots were greased.
Yeah. Greasy boots.
So that the person who was holding him... Wait, were they greased on the outside or the inside?
I don't know. I guess you might have to listen to the radio broadcast. Apparently it was first broadcast on March 18th of 1946.
I wonder if they have it in podcast form now.
Oh, they probably have everything in podcast form now. Even like the World Pea Counting Competition.
I didn't know where you were going with that at first.
I didn't either.
I heard the World Pea.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So...
The night is dark. The spirits are restless. They demand to be poured until the last drop.
There are some other ideas as far as where a leprechaun may have come from. According to some scholars, the word leprechaun comes from the ancient Irish Celtic god and cultural hero Lugh? I don't know. L-U-G-H? I don't want to call it like Lug, because that just sounds kind of like lame. Let's, for the purpose of this, I'm just going to call him Lou. Lou.
It's a strong name.
No. Lou, whatever. He was originally, let's use pronouns here. He was originally the god of the sun and light, and then he became a great warrior, ruler of ancient Ireland. His stature literally diminished over time as Christianization of Europe gathered pace. He was eventually transformed into Lou Cromain, meaning stooping Lou, I guess, as he now inhabited the underground world of Sida, where all of the other gods were regulated as to the people forgot their traditions and embraced new religions. Lugh thus became a sort of fairy craftsman, and from there Lugh became Leprechaun, the diminutive fairy goblin in medieval folklore.
That's actually really sad when you think about it. Like, he was a god.
Yeah.
He was a god, a big, powerful, mighty god. And then Christians came along and literally reduced him to a tiny cobbler.
Yeah, it's a change of beliefs and all that, and it happens very common. Unfortunately, Christianity is very notorious for that. I mean, even looking at like the Crusades and back in history where it was essentially like, believe what we believe or we'll kill you.
Or the witch trials, you know.
Yeah, same thing. A lot of early settlers and all that were also in the same boat.
She turned me into a newt. A newt?
I got better. Let's see. They also have another ancient source of inspiration, the small water spirits of Celtic mythology. These elves or fairies, known as Here we go. Lukewarp? Or,
Lukewarm?
Lukewarpine? I don't know. I'm not familiar with any of this. First appeared in Irish literature in the Extra Fergus. Never mind. The Adventures of Ferguson's Son of Lete.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm not going to try to pronounce it because I can't. It's just too much of a brain.
Too much of a brain?
Too much of a brain.
Something your brain won't do?
Nope, not currently. Sorry, I need to study up on my ancient Gaelic and Eastern dialects before I can pronounce most of these.
You do. Clearly you've been slacking and I'm disappointed.
I know. Recently it's been more on Cantonese and Mandarin. And yeah.
That does us no good right now.
I know. Maybe later on. Maybe if we do a Eastern Dragon episode.
I'm not going to anymore.
Anyway, The Adventures of Fergus' Son and Lete, which dates to the 8th century CE, a number of mischievous spirits capture the hero Fergus while he is asleep and take away his sword and attempt to carry him over water. Fergus wakes up, and when one of his toes touches the water's surface, he manages to grab 3 of the sprites. I don't know how that's relevant.
Huh.
The sprites win their freedom by promising to teach Fergus their swimming skills.
That's how it's relevant.
I guess, but could he not swim before?
Maybe he couldn't swim like they do.
I guess.
I mean, they're water spirits, right?
True. I mean,
So
if they're able to swim with holding a body above water,
right.
that's pretty good.
Maybe they can also breathe underwater.
Oh, maybe. I don't know how that's going to change his physiology.
He wants to swim with the fishes.
Ah, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on.
I saw that picture.
Oh, yes. The characteristics of a leprechaun. I guess we could go a little bit more in depth on that.
You know, I think it's interesting. One of the things that I came across is a universal leprechaun description according to McAnally. And I feel like this drastically varies from what we see as a stereotypical leprechaun these days. And, you know, from what I've come to understand, a lot of that is due to the fact that what we have as the modern day leprechaun is based a lot on derogatory, hate-filled, I guess, depictions of Irish people, which we've kind of touched on a little bit already.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this description says that he is about 3 feet high and is dressed in a little red jacket or roundabout, with red breeches buckled at the knee, gray or black stockings, and a hat cocked in the style of a century ago. Over a little old withered face, round his neck is an Elizabethan ruff, and frills of lace are at his wrists. On the wild west coast, where the Atlantic winds bring almost constant rains, he dispenses with ruff and frills and wears a prosaic overcoat over his pretty red suit, so that, unless on the lookout for the cocked hat, ye might pass a leprechaun on the road and never know it's himself that's in it at all.
That also kind of follows that idea that a leprechaun could potentially shapeshift. I've heard that in some, that you may not ever really know. And I think I don't remember. I'm not going to go into it because I don't remember exactly. However, that description is very different, I guess, from the traditional characteristics of a leprechaun. I suppose they come into other occasions as being that they are helpful spirits in the home. However, they could be dressed in green or red. Leprechauns are usually old, wrinkled, and ugly. Unlike the modern representation that you kind of gave of the chirpy leprechaun, I suppose the more traditional version is often a little stern, gloomy, or sour-tempered. So,
I mean, I could see that.
yeah. I mean, well, I guess that's the kind of inspiration that the movie Leprechaun has taken from, obviously. He seemed pretty sour-tempered until he got in the hood, you know?
I forgot it went there.
Yeah.
I haven't seen those movies.
I mean, well, last episode we were talking about gin and juice and Snoop Dogg, and I guess we kind of made another reference back to him, so I guess that's a little odd. I think he had a cameo appearance in one of those movies.
I would not
Don't
at
remember.
all be surprised.
So it kind of seems like where those movies were going, it got a little odd. I don't think that I could see a leprechaun in the hood though. It just doesn't seem to fit for me.
I don't know.
So.
Now I gotta watch that movie.
At Til The Last Drop, we'd like to hear your stories, not have you become the story. So please drink responsibly. Since this episode has gone mostly over leprechauns and their origin, we figured we'd go with something that's a little more related to the area, a Irish whiskey. Now this one isn't some fancy, top shelf, crazy whiskey that you can only find in Ireland that you'd need to get imported or something. This is just
Like your dad has?
Yeah, as much fun as it would to get something like that. This is just a standard bottle of Jameson. I know they have like multiple different kinds. I think they introduced like their cold brew, and they've got like a black barrel section or something, which I don't know the full details on. But for just a standard grab and go kind of bottle at pretty much any supermarket, Jameson Irish whiskey is personally, it's one of my go-to as far as like a common alcohol. So
Grab and go whiskey.
yeah, the grab and go.
That's a new phrase.
Okay, let me finish it. Yeah, the grab and go whiskey, just like any of those Lay's potato chips or whatever. You're just like, I'll just grab it and go. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know how much of a review would be worth it here, but we might as well like take a little bit of a drink and I guess express our opinions of it. Would you like to start, or should I start on this?
No, you go ahead and start on this
Okay.
one. I am not a huge whiskey fan.
Well, it tastes exactly what you'd think it tastes like.
Oh, that doesn't make me want to try it.
Ah, yes, it tastes like the sweat of the sheep right from the field.
Uh-huh. I haven't drank yet. So,
Oh, okay. Ignore that until after
So
you drink.
thanks for that.
Yeah.
Lovely.
It's really not as bad as you think it is.
It's got a strong smell.
Yeah. It's really, it's a lot more manageable than some of the other alcohols that we've had.
Really?
Well, yeah. I mean, this one is, it's an 80 proof. So as compared to, what was our last one that we had? I guess the moonshine would be one of the higher proofs that we had. But I suppose that
The moonshine.
that's not common.
Well, okay. The flavored moonshines were really nice, though. This is
Yeah, but those were like 40 proof too.
not all of them.
Well, the blackberry I think was.
So, what are your thoughts on that?
Personally, I would just drink this over ice. But I know that there's a couple of mixes that I like with this one. One that I was aware of was that it got mixed with a green tea. And I don't know, I think it was just the Jameson and the green tea, but it was a very nice combo, and it gave both flavors. It's almost as if you could have both flavors of them like have their own spotlight, but it also gave interesting like flavor profile to the overall drink.
I
which
could
thought
see
was
how
very nice.
that would, because they both have kind of like an earthy feel
Yeah.
to them. So I could see how those would lend themselves nicely into one another.
Oh yeah. Obviously they give a couple of drink options for Jameson as well. I mean, like Jameson with ginger and lime. Some of their newer stuff, like their black barrel selection, I guess they suggest things like an apple cider punch, crimson cranberry punch, ginger sparkler. There's the cold brew, which is, I believe, their coffee flavored Irish whiskey.
Coffee flavored whiskey.
Yeah, or it's like it's a mix or something. I haven't looked too much into it, but it's a cold brew hot chocolate with that one. They've got their hot toddy. They've got a sangria. They've got basically just the cold brew and cola. But I've never been a fan of coffee flavor in a cola. It seems weird to me.
Yeah, I could see how that's not appealing.
Yeah, because I remember when Coke tried to do their whole thing. Where it's like,
I
what was it?
actually saw those at the store the other day.
That's bad because those are really old.
No, they had new ones. I tried
oh
to point it
boy.
out to you. I think you were looking at pasta or something.
Oh, well, it wasn't that good the first run that I tried it, so I probably wouldn't have wanted it.
I like coffee, and I don't think I would have actually cared for coffee and cola.
No.
Those are two very contrasting flavors, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, it makes more sense in the case of like the Jameson cold brew because then you have some alcohol to at least give you a reason to drink it. But yeah.
Well, I mean, people put alcohol in their coffee all the time, so
Yeah, I mean isn't that part of the Irish breakfast? Is you just drop a shot in your coffee and be good?
something.
It might have originated where somebody was trying to grab like some cream and accidentally grabbed like a bottle from the night before or something and just added it in. It's just like, well, it's already there. I don't have the time to change it. So
Or the Irish cream.
yeah. So anyway, that's our simple review of Jameson. As far as flavor goes, I'm assuming that most people are going to know the flavor of it. If not, it's easy enough to grab. There's plenty of things to use Jameson in.
It tastes like whiskey.
Yeah, it's an Irish whiskey. So take your ideas of American whiskeys.
What's the difference between an Irish and American whiskey? Do you know?
Let's see.
This is Till the Last Drop, and you're listening to this next section on our tab.
So that difference between the American and Irish whiskeys. Now, an Irish whiskey is usually made from barley. Sometimes it's a mixture of barley and malt. It means it's got a lighter flavor than the American whiskey, but it also makes it age a little bit better.
Oh, okay.
So Irish distilleries will use older barrels, and they let their whiskeys sit for a minimum of 3 years to get that full classic flavor. It used to be that Irish whiskeys were reserved for people who weren't into that strong taste, but now they're finding a place in cocktails. There's also a level of subtlety to the flavor that you won't find in a lot of the American-style whiskeys.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
Yeah. On the opposite side of things, the American whiskeys are a 2-year minimum for the whiskey, and that's